What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, bringing to you guys the predictions for Traffic 5. Dope card. I will be attending in person. It's in Arizona. I live in Arizona, so I definitely will be making that little drive, a couple hours over there to go see it in person. And all the events that I've been to at this point, my my battle rap fandom, I was underage for most part of it. So since I've been able to go, I've only really went to major events, Gnome. I've been to Summer Impact, went to the Drake cards. This is going to be my first time actually going to kind of like more of a controlled space event. I'm really excited for it, and I think on paper, this is a good card. I think it's booked stylistically. While there is hints of star power here and there, what I'm always big on is making sure the matchups make sense style-wise and actually can help either battler in here. So I'm going to go over each battle, give my winners, what I like about it, and just my overall thoughts of the card as a whole. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions for Traffic 5. So first battle I want to talk about in the card is RX versus Yoshi G. We're gonna go bottom and work our way. We're actually not gonna go bottom, work our way up. We're gonna start at the bottom because RX versus Yoshi G is on the bottom of the flyer, and I'm really just gonna talk about the matchups in the order of importance. What I'm excited for. So RX versus Yoshi G. Not that I'm not excited for it. Dope battle, but I do believe there is gonna be a clear winner here. It's good to see Yoshi on here, kind of being able to stretch her resume in terms of the ladies that she can battle. Obviously, she has a hard time getting battles locked down with some of the more established, top tier vets that we know. Refusal to take her. I really see it both ways. It's more of an in-depth topic for another discussion, but I do think RX is good. Obviously, RX is beautiful. Shout out to her, and I do think that she is a decent battle rapper. But I do not believe that she's at the level of Yoshi G. Sometimes I think she has hard time landing definitive haymakers. You can definitely see the West impression in her style, but overall, she's not bombing back-to-back, while Yoshi is developing, has great pockets, and is further developing those pockets. Even though Coco Cakes wasn't exactly comp, her performance versus Coco Cakes was splendid, and assuming that the setting is kind of the same, I could see something not exactly like that playing out, because I believe RX is definitely going to be better than that, Coco Cakes was, but I do believe that Yoshi's taking this battle clear. I just think she has more of a ceiling when it comes to battle rap, the haymakers she can land, the paces that she can hit, her little bit of aggression in there, and overall, while will be a decent battle, as I said, got Yoshi 2-1, possibly 3-0 clear. And then we can move on to the battle that's like, it's kind of on the flyers, like the pseudo headliner, but I'm not the biggest fan of the matchup, and that is Jay the Nightwing versus Nun. And it's not a bad battle by any means, but it reminds me of just most of the way that Nun battles have been this year, where it's definitely just a battle on the card, solid. It's not like you can't complain, but you're not jumping for joy. Jay's had a fairly decent year. I did have him losing clear to Tink and Holmesy, but I did think he was very good, especially versus Tink. Battle YK, I have not been able to watch Young Cannon versus Jay, but I do have to hop on that. And outside of that, I do feel like I'm missing one or two more battles. Obviously, Battle Bill in the Spaces, but that is a Spaces battle. And as for Nun, we all know his body of work. He's been a mid-tier workhorse this year. O-Red, Danny, Snake Eyes, Sharon. He's just battling everybody, and he's been decent. I think he's had a hard time locking down clear wins, but there definitely is some debatables in there. One of the better years in Nun's career might be the best year. He's definitely gotten the most opportunities he's ever gotten, since he's hit URL. And this battle over here could be a wash. I mean, I think at ceiling, obviously Jay is better, but the big talk the last year and a half is, since the post-Av battle, are we going to see Jay ceiling again? Actually, post-Danny, because he had Danny post-Av. But after that, it's been really tough. Obviously, the Loso loss, he got bodied. A lot of battles where he's just stumbling, choking, things of that nature. Big reason I had him losing to Tink, he choked in the third round. Probably would have won it clear. People still gave it to him, even though he choked in it, which I thought was hilarious. But at his ceiling, I think he does great. This is Traffic, very similar to the Tink battle, so I think you do get a really good Jay. And as for Nun is going to bring his Nun level stuff. He's never really that bad. He hasn't really been that great. He's going to give you his 7 out of 10 solid performance. His opponent can clear it. His opponent can also just be decent, have a debatable, or if his opponent doesn't take him seriously, he'll win clear. That's kind of the cycle of what Nun's been dealing with lately. And in this one, I do see Jay winning clear. I don't know, in terms of the opponent, I don't know if he'd be that motivated. He definitely could choke and lose this battle. It wouldn't shock me, but he's been trending in the correct direction. He has, he was good on the last LA-based event versus Tink, might have a little more motivation here on the west side, and I just have him taking this battle 2-1 in a kind of return to form performance, but if he does choke and lose, wouldn't be all that surprised either. We can then get into Loso versus Tink the Demon. Now, this is also a matchup that a little bit of a head-scratcher for me, just on the Loso side. I believe that Loso was kind of in gear, ready to get some top-tier plates. He talked about battling Shine and Nitty, and I think that he is the talent level. I've said multiple times, I think he's like a low-level top tier, and he just needs opportunities. And Tink the Demon is not exactly one of those opportunities I was expecting. Maybe it's something of being off URL. Maybe it's because of the one-round loss to Holmesy, which was bad, but I don't know if it was bad to just put him all the way down to the point that he's taking final exams. And Tink has had a decent year. No disrespect to Tink. He's probably going to end up making my personal top 20 COTY list. But I do think Loso has proven more, has more of those wins career-wise, and is kind of a step above this, but it is booked. And with that being said, it is going to create quite the style clash, just because obviously Tink has this whole demon thing versus the religious, Christian battle rapper persona that Loso gives. But I do think that Loso is going to win this battle 2-1 clear. Tink is great, obviously did great in this setting, but usually the problem is that if he has an elite round, it's almost like he gasses out. While I did have him beating Jay, his first is better than his last 2 rounds combined. Not to say that they're even bad rounds, but he really stacks around and gasses out. So I could see a round where he does that, but Loso is much more sound, I believe, pen-wise as an angler, one of the better anglers. Think that he could really do something cool with the demon thing. I could see a world where if he's not fully motivated, which hasn't been too much of a problem with Loso, so that's why I don't have to question his motivation. It's very good consistency no matter the op for the most part, but I don't want to see him fall too much into the demon name flips, but I don't believe that's going to happen. He's going to have angling, punches, performance, a flow that's cold. But overall, I think he's a little bit more well-rounded than Tink. I think his consistency shows. And even in rounds where Tink loses, kind of has issues with his breath control or stumbles, things he's prone to, Loso's just so much more sound in all those categories. I'm a fan of Tink. I'm a fan of his year so far, and I love his demonic content. But in this one, I think he faces a battler that just checks more boxes. And that's why I have Loso winning 2-1. And that leads into, right outside of the 2 battles I want to talk about the 2 battles that I love on this card, like the whole card overall, but really love the last 2. But before we get there, we got to talk about Sheed versus Kid Chaos. Very good stylistic matchup. Unorthodox, the pen breaking down against each other. They're both prone to that, it's like the evolution of Peachy stepping in a way. But I do think they're both very, very fire. Sheed, one of the best prospects from the UM4 class. Obviously for Kid Chaos, while he did have a little bit of a dip there, obviously had a losing streak for a minute, even though he was producing pretty decent content, but wasn't getting some of the wins he needed to advance. Recently, I think he's back to form. The win over EK, the win over Lady Flames. Him losing the judge votes to Verb was a travesty, but he did, obviously, Verb choked. He won that battle anyways, and I thought he won the second and third clear content-wise. I will say, hearing before the battle, hearing that he had won 3-0, I did think that it was going to be, even with the editing, that his content would just wash it out. I was a little disappointed. Like I said, I still think that he won clear second and third. Content-wise, no question. I think it was ridiculous. The votes were close. But I almost expected a little more. I'm waiting for, maybe another breakout. I don't know. Kind of the same critique I gave Kid Slade, where I thought he was winning battles clear, but we were waiting for the breakout. The Stumbles battle occurs. So maybe something similar here. He really shows out versus Sheed. They could both use it. I think this will be a 2-1 debatable battle. I'm going to edge Kid Chaos going in because he's a little bit of that experience. I think he's at a more crucial point of his career that he really has to make or break, and wins do crazy for him. But I expect it, like I said, debatable. I think some people will have Sheed edging, but I think they both do something very similar, and the fans will just be happy for a real motivated pen fest. So Chaos 2-1 edge in a debatable and a dark horse pick that could possibly be battle of the night. And that leads us into the last battle, 2 battles we have to talk about. And first, I want to talk about Chess versus Saint. This is the one. I had made a tweet, also had talked about when Saint got signed. It is time for the chess battle. We've always wanted this kind of like Western chess. It was kind of promoted at one time, and it's been talked about forever. He finally gets signed, and I love that this is the first battle he gets. Give him a top tier. Saint is proven. He's battled all types of legends over at King of the Dot. Marv won. Real deal. Diz. He lost the judge of what's a real deal. I thought he won those first 2 rounds clear. Obviously beat the other 2, and that's only naming part of his resume and just some of the top highlights. He's battle tested, and this is a top tier matchup. This is really going to prove he's ready to sink or swim. Chess is obviously needs a bounce back. After the Suge performance, he has now been on final exams in Traffic, so kind of, bump down the cards as well. No disrespect, I like the Traffic series. It's obviously not Gnome, it's obviously not SM. And he's in need of a couple wins. Chess has always struggled getting clear wins versus top competition. So he usually gets bounced down here and then makes his mark, getting a couple clear wins in a row versus what people would consider, mid-tier comp or lower comp, and then they give him a shot again. But Saint is not mid-tier. It may be high-ranking mid-tier, but I think Saint has that type of talent potential to be a top-tier battler, and I think he proves it right here. I think this is going to be an absolutely great battle. One of the better battles on the card. I do not expect a 3 rounds choking Chess, maybe a possibility of a stumble or something of that nature, but I don't know. I believe that he is motivated right now. It's almost funny, in the biggest situations, you can't really count on him to be motivated, but in situations like this, it's closer to you can almost count on him being motivated. Very, very strange, or being prepared, I should say. But I do have Saint winning 2-1 edge. I think Saint has the ability to chain haymakers. This is his first battle on URL. He's been saving bars for this. It's kind of, we got the eyes on Saint seeing what he's going to do. If Chess was able to stop like this momentum and clear him, obviously it would be a humongous win for Chess. They're going to bounce Chess right back into top tier matchups. I don't know if he deserves them still. Regardless, that's a whole other conversation. I expect a fire Chess. I expect a debatable battle, but I expect a lot of people to be like, man, but Saint. Chess was great, but Saint was something special. So I have Saint 2-1 edge in one of the better battles of the night. I'm very excited to see what these two gentlemen do. And that leads to the main event, which I have talked about in this channel before, Rum Nitty versus Bill Collector. Heavyweight fight right here. You talk about Rum Nitty and Bill, who to me are both in the top 10 and not 10 or 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? For the Champion of the Year race right now, I'm very impressed with both of their years. But big matchup for both of their cases going into the end. Nitty versus Bill. Obviously, Bill is another top 10 candidate. And as for Bill, he's had a little bit, he hasn't really battled a meaningful 3-rounder in a while, battled Kang. But ever since the tourney, he's really kind of sat down. And he's talked about hitting a clip of 3 battles here between Rose, Nitty, and a mystery third opponent. I'm going to assume it's JC on the volume as he's trying to get that book. That would be the third opponent. But he's trying to make this mad dash at the end to steal COTY. I absolutely respect it. The motivation's going to be there on both sides. I think you're going to get another great battle when you just have some of the better battlers in the world going at it in a situation that means a lot for both. It's going to be great, but this is in Arizona. I'm expecting, as Nitty has said, he's ultra motivated. He wants to make this a special performance. The material is there with Bill and Collector, and I think it's more of a pen matchup with Bill changing to the punch-for-punch style. Obviously, he's going to have the entertainment factor to it, but I think his best part of his style but now is the wordplay, every single word, back-to-back bar format. So I think he's going to try to go at least, somewhat bar for bar with Nitty. I think that's going to be really the precipice of this battle, and I'm not betting on anybody that's going to take that approach. Respect to Bill, I think he's very elite. Is it possible for him to win? Of course, but home game, Rum Nitty, month plus prep, I have him 2-1 clear in a very, very good battle. And that will be it for my predictions for Traffic 5. You guys let me know in the comments down below, what is your battle of the night pick? And who do you think is going to have the best performance of the night? Just basic performance of the night, battle of the night. This is a card on paper, to me, one of the better cards of the year, funny enough. Just think it, while it doesn't have the star power of other cards, of course, in a year it's had some mediocre cards, this stylistically has some good matchups. There's motivation for each. I think they made a good job of making most of these matchups make sense. And I think that's what leads to great battles and great cards. So I am expecting, probably an 8 out of 10 result at the least from this event. Could be higher, could be a point lower, but I think 8 out of 10 is a perfect, just a really solid, good event with some real standout performances and good battles on it. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, let me know down below your performance night and battle night. Also, let me know your thoughts of the card overall. How do you feel about it? And do you think any big COTY changes will happen from the results of these battles? We are in that time of the season. The GoFundMe is up for Black as well, so go to his Twitter or just go to GoFundMe.com and find Jay Black's Champion of the Year 2022 GoFundMe. Most prized and prestigious award in battle rap. Go show that some love and donate. And it's been Jay Smo Reviews again, y'all, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.